Hey, I'm Andrew Gash for Audioholics. There are three things that I honestly look for when it comes to shopping for TVs: picture quality, features, and the TV's overall look. Now, if you can find a TV that has all the features you need, looks good, and, well, looks good, you know what I mean, well, then you're in good shape. Sony's XBR series TVs have always been fascinating to us because they represented the best the company has to offer. Now, back in the day, you simply couldn't find a better TV than the XBR Trinitron. But nowadays, Sony has a lot more competition, but the XBR line is still their cream of the crop. Now, this TV is the XBR 46-inch HX929. It's an LED backlit TV, and it also has local dimming and supports streaming media services as well as 3D. Now, you're not going to find another TV from Sony that looks better or does more. Of course, it also costs more per square inch than their other offerings, and that's where we aimed our focus. What does the Sony XBR do, and is it worth the $2,500 price tag for this 46-inch set? Well, let's start with the design. Unpacking the HX929, we looked at the front and saw a sea of black glass. Now, Sony covered the entire front of it with Corning Gorilla Glass. It's more or less the type of durable and scratch-resistant glass that Apple uses on its iPhone, and the exact same type of glass used by Samsung, HTC, and other smartphone manufacturers and tablet manufacturers. Now, to our knowledge, Sony is the only company using it on their televisions. In addition to scratch resistance, a fringe benefit is that you really can't tell where the screen starts and the bezel ends. That is, of course, until you turn the set on. Then, well, you'll be able to... No, you can't tell. Well, it's a beautiful TV, and it's also really thin, just under 1.5 inches actually, and less than half an inch on the edges. Now, the connections, of which there are plenty, are recessed into the bottom end sides of the set, and they include 4 HDMI inputs and component video. There's also analog and digital audio inputs and USB. Now, when we hooked up the standard HDMI cables, we found them to fit quite nicely, and this allowed us to mount the TV very close to the wall. Now, focusing on picture quality, it is hard not to just be impressed. Sony has included a couple of bang-up features that really produce a nice image. Now, first, they've isolated the LED backlighting into zones. This is called local dimming. It means that the TV can simultaneously crank up the gain of bright areas of the screen and then also dim other areas of the screen and create an exceptional contrast ratio. It seemed to do reasonably well, though in some instances we could notice some halos around bright, isolated images on darker backgrounds. The other standout features are broken up into a slew of names that can be confusing to consumers. There is motion flow, smooth gradation, cinemotion, and even something called reality creation, which honestly, I kept turning that on hoping the TV would materialize something into my living room. It didn't. But anyway, the bottom line is that Sony uses these features to do several things really well, actually. Now, first, they can time the backlight to work with their 240 Hz refresh rate to yield something that's kind of like a 960 Hz display. Sort of. But they also enhance the picture using frame interpolation to create new frames in between that enhance the look of fast-moving images. Of course, if you enable everything, well, then the on-screen images is going to look a bit harsh, but of course it's all adjustable to taste. So, what about features and content? Well, as always, there's actually too much to cover. Internet apps, built-in proximity sensor, complete with camera. This review is already too long. I can see you nodding off there. Wake up! Come on, we're almost done. Let's sum it up by saying that Sony's approach to multimedia has always been a bit of a smorgasbord, and the 46-inch HX929 is more or less the pinnacle of Sony's foray into content distribution. In addition to the usual suspects like YouTube, Hulu Plus, Amazon, Pandora, and Netflix, which incidentally they have a dedicated red button on the remote for, Sony also includes access to Yahoo widgets, music and video search, and an internet browser, which unfortunately is really unusable, even with the free media remote software that lets you control your TV from your smartphone. Oh well. Sony is really into media streaming and online content, so if you pick up this TV set, you're going to have to ice your back for a bit because it's kind of heavy. Okay, I'm sorry, lame joke. Anyway, you are not going to be missing out on any of the major opportunities to gain access to all the content that you could dream of. So, is the Sony XBR HX929 worth the $2,500 price tag? Well, it is one of the best LED backlit TVs we've seen this year, but it does come at a premium price. And so the real question will be whether or not you need all that Sony is offering. This is a great TV with a lot of competition, but we like it a lot. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like button in YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We'll even send you a free taco. That's right. Okay, no, I'm kidding, we won't. I'm probably gonna eat it first. Anyway, also be sure to visit us at facebook.com/audioholics or via Twitter at AudioholicsLive.